And my dad.
I'm like, you think so? Okay.
If only you had a picture of me when I was 13.
He revealed in great detail that Justin Baldoni had accused Blake Lively of deliberately trying to seize creative control over his movie, claiming she has a long-standing pattern of doing so in multiple projects throughout her career. According to Baldoni, Blake tends to agree to star in a film under the guise of collaboration, but once production begins, she subtly tries to dominate the process. She allegedly insists on overseeing every major creative decision, from directing and editing to producing, leaving little room for others to contribute. Baldoni described her as someone who wants to be in charge of every aspect of a project, demanding all the roles and full authority for herself, which he characterized as controlling and manipulative behavior. By the time the movie reached its premiere stage, the situation had reportedly worsened. Blake Lively allegedly mandated that Justin Baldoni spend the night in the basement, away from his co-stars and the production team, as a means of isolating him. Even more shocking, Baldoni claimed that he was denied the opportunity to watch the final cut of his own film, because Lively insisted that only she had the right to approve it before release. This act, according to him, symbolized the extent of her control over the entire production and demonstrated how far she was willing to go to maintain her dominance. Following these events, Justin Baldoni and 9 other plaintiffs, including his publicists and associates, filed a massive $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times. The lawsuit accuses the publication of libel, defamation, and false light invasion of privacy, alleging that it played a significant role in damaging Baldoni's reputation. His attorney, Brian Friedman, explained to CBS, a partner of the BBC, that the newspaper allegedly aided and abetted a smear campaign designed specifically to rehabilitate Blake Lively's public image and career, which had faced scrutiny in recent years. Friedman suggested that the entire situation was a calculated move by Lively's camp to regain control of the narrative and portray her as a victim rather than an aggressor. Adding another layer to the controversy, Friedman shared that Blake Lively has compared herself to the Mother of Dragons from Game of Thrones in private messages. She reportedly referred to her close friends Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift as her dragons, emphasizing that they are her strongest allies and defenders within the entertainment industry. In those messages, Lively allegedly claimed that she was fortunate to have such powerful storytellers by her side to help her rewrite the script of public perception. However, Friedman argues that this statement wasn't as innocent as it appeared. Instead, it hinted at a coordinated media effort supported by her celebrity network. Furthermore, Friedman revealed that he received a crucial tip through TikTok that helped connect several pieces of the puzzle. He later spoke with Marcos, the founder of the Be Better company, who was initially a vocal supporter of Blake Lively's side. However, after reading Justin Baldoni's detailed counter-statement and reviewing evidence from his team, Marcos reportedly changed his stance entirely. He admitted that the information presented by Baldoni's legal team shed new light on the matter, raising serious doubts about Lively's version of events. This unexpected shift added more credibility to Baldoni's claims and intensified the public debate surrounding the case. In fact, to be completely transparent, I went through some of Justin Baldoni's social media posts myself, and honestly, he does come across as somewhat dramatic, even a bit self-righteous with his talk about masculinity, identity, and emotional vulnerability. There's a tone of overcompensation that many have described as toxic masculinity disguised as self-awareness. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not particularly defending him or taking his side in this feud. My point, however, is that despite the strong claims being made against him, when you look closely at the complaint filed by Blake Lively's team, which seems designed to completely discredit him and his PR network, there are still glaring holes in the narrative. It reads more like a carefully crafted public takedown than a solid legal argument. There's no definitive smoking gun, no clear proof like a text message saying, "Look what I got placed in the New York Post." Instead, It's mostly speculation built on assumptions and vague connections. What appears to be at the heart of this storm is Blake Lively's alleged determination to turn Justin Baldoni into the villain of her real-life story. Sources close to the production claim that Blake's motivation stemmed from frustration over her own image. During the movie's promotional tour, her public appearances were reportedly awkward and out of touch, and her business ventures weren't faring well either. Her hair care brand was struggling to gain traction, and her attempt to promote an alcohol line while discussing domestic violence issues was criticized as insensitive and tone-deaf. According to Baldoni, the conflict between them began long before the public even suspected anything, back in May 2023, during the early stages of filming. That's when he claims Blake began orchestrating what he describes as a takeover, quietly positioning herself to dominate the creative process and narrative. Now, the question reverberating through Hollywood is a dramatic one. Has Blake Lively's seemingly flawless reputation finally collided headfirst with a bombshell secret capable of bringing down the pristine image she's spent years cultivating? That question has set off a wave of speculation across the entertainment world. Industry insiders are whispering about the potential fallout of this lawsuit, a case that, strangely enough, few in Hollywood seem eager to discuss publicly, including Blake herself. What began as a behind-the-scenes dispute over creative control has now spiraled into a scandal that could redefine how the public sees one of America's most adored stars. According to some reports, actor and producer Justin Baldoni may have stumbled upon information so damaging that it could permanently fracture the carefully polished public persona Blake Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, have built together. Their image, a perfect blend of charm, humor, and modern family wholesomeness, has become almost legendary in Hollywood. Through social media banter, red carpet jokes, and their playful, down-to-earth marriage dynamic, the couple has managed to appear both glamorous and relatable. But beneath that golden surface, some now believe there's a darker story unfolding, one involving manipulation, power struggles, and media control. Prominent commentator Megyn Kelly even weighed in, suggesting that this might not be just another trivial celebrity spat. Instead, she described it as a scandal with the potential to blow up like dynamite, far surpassing the scale of ordinary Hollywood feuds. With rumors spreading and the stakes rising by the day, this lawsuit may not simply test reputations, it could redefine them. Whether Blake Lively can maintain her image as America's golden girl, or whether Justin Baldoni's claims will expose cracks in that perfect facade, remains to be seen. What's certain is that Hollywood is watching very closely, and no one, not even Blake herself, seems ready to talk. To the public, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have always appeared to be Hollywood's golden couple. Witty, charming, effortlessly glamorous, and seemingly authentic in a world built on illusion. Their playful social media banter and affectionate public appearances have long reinforced the image of a down-to-earth duo who truly have it all. But behind those curated Instagram posts and red carpet smiles, whispers are beginning to paint a very different picture. Rumors are swirling that Blake Lively may have been hiding a secret connection, even a possible affair, with her co-star Justin Baldoni. And according to some sensational claims, there may even be tapes or recordings that prove it, materials that are allegedly being buried as fast as possible to prevent a PR catastrophe. It all sounds like the kind of outlandish late-night tabloid fantasy that should be dismissed on sight, and yet the story hasn't faded. Instead, it's spread like wildfire across the internet, fueled by speculation, gossip, and a growing number of unexplained legal maneuvers. The entire scandal began quietly, almost unnoticed, with a seemingly routine lawsuit slipping into the court system. A few sharp-eyed entertainment reporters noticed the filing, which appeared to show Baldoni initiating legal action against a major unnamed actress. At first, the entertainment world shrugged it off. The official reason seemed dull and procedural: contractual disputes, creative differences, or scheduling conflicts. Hollywood is built on such legal skirmishes, and this one looked no different. But something about this case didn't feel right. Insiders close to the production began to whisper about the unusual level of secrecy surrounding it. Court records were heavily redacted, and legal teams were fighting aggressively to keep certain documents sealed. While confidentiality clauses are common in show business, the extreme measures being taken here were extraordinary, and to industry insiders, that was a blazing red flag. Soon, word began to leak through the Hollywood grapevine. What if this lawsuit wasn't about creative disagreements at all? Before long, Blake Lively's name surfaced, and the tone of the conversation changed overnight. At first, fans rolled their eyes, dismissing the story as clickbait or a baseless internet rumor. But then, one crucial detail came out. Lively's lawyers were working tirelessly to block the release of personal communications related to the case. Those two words, personal communications, were all it took to ignite an internet firestorm. What could be in those messages that was so sensitive, so potentially explosive, that Lively's legal team was scrambling to keep them out of public view? That's when media commentator Megyn Kelly entered the picture. Love her or hate her, Kelly has a reputation for fearlessly diving headfirst into celebrity scandals and dragging uncomfortable truths into the spotlight. Unlike entertainment reporters who tread carefully to preserve industry relationships, Kelly thrives on confrontation and controversy. Within days, she began hinting on her podcast and social media channels that Blake Lively was pulling every legal lever possible to keep incriminating materials under wraps. Her remarks, veiled but deliberate, poured gasoline on an already roaring fire. From that moment, the conversation shifted from quiet curiosity to full-blown obsession. Suddenly, this wasn't just about a lawsuit. It was about what might be hiding behind it. Were there really tapes? Were there messages that could dismantle one of Hollywood's most carefully maintained public images? Nobody seemed to know for sure, but that didn't stop the speculation. And in an industry built on image, the mere suggestion of a scandal this personal was enough to shake the foundation of Blake Lively's seemingly perfect world. Megyn Kelly never outright claimed to possess the evidence herself, but she masterfully implied that she had seen or heard enough to believe there was genuine fire smoldering beneath all that smoke. In her trademark no-nonsense fashion, she boldly declared that Blake Lively was shaking in her designer boots, a line that instantly set social media ablaze. The internet erupted. Given Kelly's long-standing reputation for digging into celebrity controversies without hesitation, her words carried serious weight. Fans and followers alike reasoned that if she was publicly calling out Lively, there had to be some substance behind the whispers. Within hours, gossip sites, podcasts, and social platforms exploded with theories, speculation, and supposed insider leaks. And then came the alleged bombshell, the so-called tapes. Whispers spread like wildfire that there were explicit videos or voice recordings allegedly linking Blake Lively to Justin Baldoni in ways that could not easily be explained away. No credible media outlet ever confirmed their existence, yet in the world of Hollywood, the lack of proof often adds oxygen to the rumor rather than extinguishing it. The mere possibility of such recordings was enough to fuel an online obsession. If these tapes do exist, both parties would have powerful reasons to keep them sealed and buried. For Lively, protecting her flawless image, that of the beloved actress, fashion icon, and wholesome wife and mother, would be paramount. For Baldoni, avoiding the label of the man who destroyed one of America's favorite celebrity marriages would be just as crucial. The potential fallout of such a scandal is staggering. Blake Lively has spent nearly 2 decades cultivating a reputation as Hollywood royalty, the elegant Gossip Girl alum who transitioned seamlessly into film, philanthropy, and motherhood, all while maintaining her status as a fashion powerhouse. Her brand is built on grace, charm, and control. A scandal of this scale, especially one hinting at infidelity and secret recordings, could unravel that careful construction in a matter of hours. For Ryan Reynolds, the implications would be equally severe. His public identity, the witty, self-deprecating family man adored by millions, is intrinsically linked to his partnership with Lively. Together, they've built an empire of joint endorsements, production ventures, and social media influence. A public implosion of their marriage could send shockwaves through the brands, studios, and audiences that have invested in their image as Hollywood's most relatable power couple. As for Justin Baldoni, while he's no stranger to public scrutiny, he has never faced controversy of this magnitude. If he does, in fact, hold any compromising evidence, he's effectively sitting on a ticking time bomb, one that could either vindicate him completely or end multiple careers, including his own. And if this lawsuit truly serves as a smokescreen for something more scandalous, the implications stretch far beyond a single film or a bruised ego. It could expose an entire ecosystem of Hollywood's behind-the-scenes manipulation, where image is currency and truth is negotiable. As of now, no explicit material has surfaced. Both Lively's and Baldoni's legal teams have maintained a strict silence, offering no comment beyond vague denials. But the secrecy surrounding the case, the ongoing legal tug-of-war over personal communications, and Megyn Kelly's relentless commentary have been more than enough to ignite a digital wildfire. Hashtags trend daily. Conspiracy threads multiply across platforms. Every anonymous leak, whether real or fabricated, sends the internet spinning in new directions. In the end, whether these alleged tapes exist or not may no longer matter. In the unforgiving world of celebrity culture, perception often holds more power than fact. The mere suggestion of scandal has already left a dent in Blake Lively's once impeccable image. Her picture-perfect persona, once considered untouchable, now flickers under the weight of rumor and doubt. And until the courts or the people at the center of this drama finally break their silence, one haunting question will continue to echo through Hollywood. Is Blake Lively's carefully constructed public image, the picture of charm, grace, and Hollywood perfection, finally beginning to collapse under the weight of a secret she cannot afford to let see daylight? What began as murmurs of creative tension between co-stars has spiraled into a full-blown Hollywood scandal with potentially career-ending consequences. Justin Baldoni, once a respected actor and filmmaker known for his sensitivity and progressive messaging, now finds himself trapped in a story far bigger than he ever intended to be part of. Whether by design or accident, he's become a central figure in a narrative that could either destroy his reputation or, paradoxically, vindicate him in the eyes of the public. For Blake Lively, however, the stakes are exponentially higher. The woman once celebrated as Gossip Girl's glamorous Serena van der Woodsen, the beloved rom-com sweetheart, and the effortlessly stylish entrepreneur has suddenly found herself at the heart of persistent rumors that refuse to die. Whispers across Hollywood allege that Baldoni may possess recordings, explicit, intimate, and potentially catastrophic, that could blow apart the image Lively has spent nearly 2 decades crafting. According to some insiders, Baldoni is frantically trying to distance himself from the image of a scheming opportunist who engineered a PR disaster for attention. Others suggest that he views these rumored recordings as leverage, an insurance policy of sorts, in case Lively's legal team decides to turn the full force of their influence against him. Adding fuel to the fire is the ongoing lawsuit that seems to shadow every new development. Legal analysts online have noted that if the case advances far enough, the supposed recordings or communications between the two could be forced into discovery. Under certain conditions, text messages, emails, or even voice memos could become admissible in court, a nightmare scenario for both parties. The only way to prevent such exposure would be through a judicial ruling that declares them irrelevant or seals them completely. Given how aggressively Lively's legal team appears to be working behind the scenes, many in the industry believe her camp is doing everything possible to ensure that no such materials ever make it to a courtroom, let alone the public. That's where this story shifts from salacious gossip to something more tragic, or more fascinating depending on one's perspective. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are not merely actors, they are a global brand. Together, they've cultivated one of Hollywood's most admired partnerships, a rare blend of humor, affection, and authenticity. Individually, they're powerhouses. He's the sharp-tongued superhero turned savvy businessman, and she's the fashion-forward actress turned lifestyle icon. Together, they've built an empire based on relatability, charm, and playful romance. They tease each other on birthdays, joke during interviews, and appear as the epitome of real love in an industry often accused of being anything but.